கோவை பெரியார் பயன்படுத்திய பிரச்சார வாகனத்தில் அமர்ந்து மகிழ்ந்த அமைச்சர் பழனிவேல் தியாகராஜன். கோவையில் உள்ள GD அருங்காட்சியகத்தில் பிரத்யேகமான அதிநவீன கார்கள் அடங்கிய பிரிவை தமிழ்நாடு தகவல் தொழில்நுட்பத்துறை அமைச்சர் பழனிவேல் தியாகராஜன் திறந்து வைத்து பார்வையிட்டார். அந்த நிகழ்வை சர்வதேச வரலாற்று வாகனங்களின் கூட்டமைப்பான FIVAவின் துணைத் தலைவர் ராமின் சல்லேஹு, கல்வியாளர் கிருஷ்ணராஜ் வானவராயர், GD நாயுடு அறக்கட்டளையின் அறங்காவலர் ராஜ்குமார் ஆகியோரின் இந்த நிகழ்வை குத்துவிளக்கேற்றி துவக்கி வைத்தனர். இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில் உரையாற்றிய அமைச்சர் பழனிவேல் தியாகராஜன் GD நாயுடு பற்றி அவரது தாத்தா, அப்பா மற்றும் குடும்பத்தினர் கூறியதையும், GD நாயுடுவின் கண்டுபிடிப்புகள் பற்றி கூறியதையும் நினைவு கூர்ந்தார். இந்நிகழ்வில் உரையாற்றிய மாவட்ட ஆட்சியர் பவன்குமார், கோவையில் கண்டிப்பாக பார்க்க வேண்டிய இடங்களில் ஒன்றாக இந்த அருங்காட்சியகம் உள்ளதாக தெரிவித்தார். மேலும் இந்நிகழ்வில் மோட்டார் விளையாட்டுத்துறைக்கு சிறப்பான பங்களிப்பை வழங்கியவர்களுக்கு சிறப்பு பரிசுகள் வழங்கி மரியாதை செய்யப்பட்டது. தொடர்ந்து பழங்கால கார்கள் வைக்கப்பட்டுள்ள காட்சியகத்திற்கு சென்று பார்வையிட்ட அமைச்சர் பழனிவேல் தியாகராஜன், பெரியார் பயன்படுத்திய பிரச்சார வாகனத்தில் பேருந்தில் அமைச்சர் பழனிவேல் தியாகராஜன், மாவட்ட ஆட்சியர் பவன்குமார் மற்றும் GD நாயுடுவின் பேரன் ராஜ்குமார் ஆகியோர் சிறிது நேரம் பேருந்துக்குள் அமர்ந்திருந்து பேருந்தில் உள்ள வசதிகள் பற்றி உரையாடி கொண்டனர்.
This will make your life meaningful. These were the words of GD Naidu, a part of his legacy we are witnessing at this museum. A legacy preserved by the Honorable GD Gopal and, having met his son, Mr. GD Rajkumar, and grandson, Rajkumar, a legacy which will be carried on for generations to come. But what we are witnessing in this ceremony today is a microcosm of what has made India today truly a global power. Why do I say that? For the first part of his life, GD Naidu traveled the world and self-educated himself, learned for 25 years. For the second part of his life, he built up industries which, despite much adversity, he pushed ahead and brought and developed technologies that, like many of his peers, laid the groundwork for the global power that is India today, earned for 25 years. But most importantly, he then spent the remaining years of his life setting up charities, and most importantly, he set out to educate and have people learn with lasting legacies, such as setting up the first polytechnic in India. And from there we learned, spend for the good of the public for the remaining 25 years. But learning is not only by teaching. Learning is also to appreciate what one has, so as to avoid forgetting what others have worked so hard and sacrificed so much to lead us here, and all the lessons that were learned on the way. This museum represents exactly that. Last night I was fascinated to listen to the stories from GD Rajkumar about the late S. Karivardhan, a true pioneer in Indian motorsports. Today I've seen some of his creations which were lovingly saved, restored and put on display in this museum, so generations to come could understand what lasting contributions this man made. It was those steps of yesterday that we now witness India's third F1 driver, Pushmani, joining the Alpine team. But if we want to truly celebrate the words of GD Naidu, one would only have to look at the section where India's automotive heritage has been lovingly preserved and put on display. Let us not forget that GD Naidu was a man who independently developed an internal combustion four-stroke engine, and in 1952, a two-seater petrol car, a true people's car, which could have been made affordable for the masses, but could not reach production due to numerous hurdles that was faced at the time. This museum celebrates the pioneers of the Indian automotive industry, who, despite numerous odds and bottlenecks, developed an automotive industry which, despite humble beginnings and numerous hurdles, today has led India to being a force to reckon with in the global automotive industry. Last night I asked Mr. Rajkumar why there were modern supercars added to the exhibit. I was told that this was to not only showcase the latest modern age technologies, but also create interest for different younger demographics. I have a proposal to this wonderful group of people gathered here tonight. Before the supercars, there should be a display called India Rising. When visitors finish visiting the section that celebrates India's indigenous automotive history, they should come across a display of the latest state-of-the-art vehicles from today's Indian motor industry. So when people come to visit the museum and see almost all the different cars built by the Indian automotive industry as it grew and matured, and lessons learned from steps and missteps. They should then see the broad array of modern state-of-the-art Indian vehicles which are now being driven across the roads of the world, thanks to the blood, sweat, and tears of numerous industrial pioneers. On top of that, they should see a Range Rover, a car many of us aspire to own and appreciate that is owned by an Indian entity. The Rajasthan tires on the car also owned by an Indian entity. The motor oil in the car comes from Gulf Oil, also owned by an Indian entity. And the list goes on and on and on. This will allow the younger generations to indeed realize and understand how the Indian automotive industry grew from such humble beginnings to now stands as the second largest in the world. Why do I say this should be done? Because the one lesson I learned from visiting this museum and having the absolute honor of visiting some of the manufacturing facilities together with His Excellency Mr. GD Gopal himself, was that I learned that if a person believes in himself, there is nothing that he cannot achieve. And that if that one person helps to believe in themselves and works for the common good and elevating people through education, job creation, and other initiatives for the public good, then there's nothing that a whole nation cannot achieve. This is a result of spending for the good of the public for the remaining 25 years. This is a message that this museum can pass on to generations, and thanks to the tireless efforts of Mr. G.D. Gopal and his family. So I, for one, came to this museum to see, and instead I learned. And for that I am truly grateful, and that I have the honor to present the FIBA Hall of Fame. I had the honor to present the FIBA Hall of Fame award to a man who has indeed made an outstanding contribution to the preservation, promotion, and appreciation of Indian automotive history. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Chief of
that we have recognition from FIBA. And I'd like to say that GD Museum, anyone who comes to Coimbatore, anyone who is new to Coimbatore, GD Museum is one of the must-visit spots. So it is planned in the top 5 locations for any tourist who is visiting to Coimbatore. And today it is great to know that we have one more section, that's the performance car section, which is being unveiled today. And just before when my address, I was talking to sir that I started recently following the F1 of accidentally landed up in Netflix in the series Race to Survive, and got my interest, and I got to know about the F1 circuit and how it is cars. And when Madam was giving the description about the new section about the Aston Martins, the ones of Lotus, McLaren, and also I got to a great interest came out, and I will be the first person very enthusiastic to visit this new section. And with Coimbatore already having its own racing circuits, and as Madam was rightly telling, it's widely known as the automotive sport capital of Coimbatore. Now this section, I am sure the youngsters will be very much interested, who are eagerly following the F1, that they will be coming out and getting to know about various products which were previously used in various circuits across the world, and I am sure it will create a great amount of interest among them. So thanks to all of you, and thanks to sir and his team for adding one more section, and we are eagerly looking for more collections in the museum, and I am sure this will bring a lot of attraction among the younger generation. On behalf of the people of Coimbatore, I would like to thank you and your team once again, sir. Thank you all.